Welcome to the Innovation Factory. My name is Chi, and for the next 5 minutes, I will teach you how to create innovative offerings on existing products using a method called lateral marketing. The specific techniques include substitution, inversion, elimination, and reordering. In this section, what we plan to do is to create a displacement by substituting one feature of the product with something else that perhaps is absurd or does not seem to make sense at first glance. In this case, popcorn is the focus. Popcorn is usually sold in a theater, so perhaps we can try selling popcorn in a club, for instance. Why would we want to sell popcorn in a club? Well, popcorn makes people thirsty, and this will stimulate the sales of drinks in a bar or in a club. The club is usually dark, so perhaps we could imagine glow-in-the-dark popcorn. There, we have made a connection in the gap. With inversion, we create a displacement by simply reversing the idea that we have in mind. Let's take the example of the movie watching experience. Normally, you would sit at home, you would pop in your DVD, sit down and watch the movie. But in this case, let's imagine it backwards. What happens if the movie could somehow watch you? Now, this may sound absurd, so we have to connect this gap. We could, for instance, imagine a high-tech chair or a device that monitors your body information such as your temperature, your heart rate, much like an advanced treadmill or an exercise bike, and then reacts based on this information. So for instance, if you're watching an action movie and your heart rate is not fast enough, the scene could involve more high-speed car chase scenes or more things blowing up. We have inverted the idea in a way that makes sense, so that it's possible for you to now go and think about developing this new innovation, which is the movie that watches you. With elimination, you create a displacement by simply removing one feature of a product, service, or activity. Now, we know that businessmen sometimes have to travel in a rush. And the last thing we have time for is to pack a suitcase and get there, pay with your ticket, go through customs, etc. So we just imagine what happens if we, to speed up the process of traveling, why don't we simply eliminate the suitcase? So a businessman simply grabs the files he needs to sign and he goes directly to the airport and into the plane. Well, we have to connect this gap. When he arrives at his destination, he will still need a suitcase. So we could have a service for suitcases that can be picked up at the arrival destination. These will be pre-packed with towels and toothbrush and a change of shirts, and these can be returned again at an office located in the airport. So we have connected the gap. The idea behind reordering is to create a gap by simply changing the order that things are normally done in any process or activity. Take the restaurant example. Normally, first you would order from the menu, then you would eat, and then you would pay. But we can imagine reordering this process. You pay first, you eat, then you order, and perhaps you eat again, and then you leave. Now, how does this make sense? Well, let's try to imagine a restaurant where you actually taste the menu. So the menu is not something that is on a piece of paper, but instead it is a palette of different foods. And you prepay on walking in a flat price. You taste the food on the menu, and then you order before you actually get the main course. So this way you've sampled everything on the menu. I hope this and the 3 other techniques which you have learned today will help you to create innovative products and services, already using the pre-existing products and services as your point of focus. Remember, create the displacements no matter how absurd, and then try to connect the gap. This is where creativity lies. Okay, so take the last one. Then let me actually like do some very like silly stuff. Thank you.